Let's go, lad. Yeah. Welcome back to Big Time Fantasy Football. Zach and Nick here as always. So yesterday we had our Dynasty League's rookie draft, and we just wanted to go over the picks with you, show you me and Nick's picks, show you some things that shocked us, and just break down the draft for you. Before we get into all of that, I should say, don't forget to like, subscribe. We're a new channel. It's going to help us grow. We're going to be big time with the help of you guys. So let's get straight into it.
Absolutely. And this draft, it was pretty crazy how many trades we had. I think we counted there was 14 trades live during the draft, and pretty much every third round pick was traded. So, yeah,
Makes it more fun
I
when the league's active like that, and just we've had this league for 4 years now, so
yep,
we have kind of a community, and it's always makes it more fun to have engagement like that.
absolutely, yeah. And I think neither of us really had a early pick. My pick was 107, and yours was 112. You had the highest points for last season, so. I tried to trade up to the 104 with Mitch. I wanted to get Neighbors or Daniels, one of the two, but he really wasn't going for it. He really liked Neighbors.
Yeah.
But
Before we
yeah,
get too deep
that's
into anything, just want to go to the settings. We are super flex, half PPR, three starting receivers, two starting running backs, and then an extra flex spot. So just makes help sense of this draft. So the most surprising thing for me off the rip was the 101. Marvin Harrison going over Caleb Williams, which in itself is just crazy. But I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, he just must be set with quarterbacks. No, he's not. He has Baker Mayfield and Will Levis. So don't exactly know the thought process there. But yeah, off the rip, I
that's
knew it
why
was going to be
he's
an
last
interesting
place
draft
and been last place pretty much every year.
because of decisions like that.
Yep.
Um, And then, so the guy in the 102 he wanted Marvin Harrison, but now that he's off the board, he ended up trading back. That was the first trade of the draft. It only took to the 102. He traded back for the 106 and the 111. But any picks you liked? How'd you feel about getting JJ that late?
Um, so when it came to my pick, I was forced with a decision, either JJ McCarthy or Drake May. I just like the system that McCarthy went to over the system Drake May went to. I think they're both going to be really talented going forward. And at the 107, I ended up going with JJ McCarthy. I was actually pretty shocked that Drake May fell to the 111 in our draft. But yeah, I think Jeb trading up to the 105 to snag Bowers, I do think he could have got him a little bit later in the round, but he had to trade up into the first round, so that might have been the only taker for him. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
happy with JJ. I definitely needed a quarterback. My quarterbacks right now are Anthony Richardson and it was Justin Fields, just those two. So I definitely needed some quarterback depth. Tried to get Russell Wilson, guys not giving him up. So JJ McCarthy and Sam Darnold are now on my team after the draft through trades and my picks. I'm pretty happy with that as my QB2 spot.
Yeah, good pick there. I know someone that you're definitely high on, so good spot to get him there for you. Brooks went earlier than I've seen him go in most mock drafts, but I don't hate that pick there. He's the best running back in the class by far, in my opinion. So it makes sense to get him there. Next most shocking thing to me was that Drake May was available down here all the way at the 111. I really thought he was going to fall to me at the 112. I even texted in the group chat as a joke, like once the 107, 108 rolled around, that, oh, Drake May is going to fall to me at 112. Um, and then I don't know. I have a theory that because I said that Keegan went and traded ahead of me into the 111 and then took him. But either way, Keegan did that, and I mean, great value for Drake May there, getting him at the 111. What did he give up? He gave up Kendra Miller 208 and a future third to get that. So I
That's
think that's
pretty
pretty good there.
solid.
Yeah, Kendra Miller I'm pretty high on compared to consensus, but to get Drake May at the 111, that's fantastic. But it was kind of making me sweat a little bit because if you've seen in our videos, I'm super high on Lad, and that was always my plan at the 112. So I would have had to pass on him if Drake May was there, but I didn't. And I got my boy. Let's go, lad.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
I did get him. As much as I've talked to him and been high about him, I'm excited to get him there at the 112. My natural pick, so that's just where I was. Didn't have to trade, move around to get him. But yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out.
Yep. He should be pretty good for years to come. That Chargers room is wide open. Good value there. I'm surprised that Brian Thomas fell into the second round. He fell to 202.
Yeah, he did fall into 202. Boo traded up
Behind
to get
Worthy,
him.
Coleman.
Traded
Wow.
Ezekiel Elliott in the 208 to go ahead and get that 202 to get Brian Thomas, who's still on the board. One of the best value picks yet, I would say, other than Drake May. I think this is the best value on the board so far, by far. Yeah. And then Nick did get lucky. Other Nick did get lucky that Bo Nix was available for him at the 201 since he passed on the original quarterback. But yeah, so he lucked out there. Who else? What other picks you like? Michael Penix went kind of about where he's expected. Could have gone a little earlier. A guy you're going to have to hold on to, but does have high value down the road.
Big T. And I ended up trading back into the second round to get my guy, Xavier Leggett. I gave up Calvin Ridley and a 25 third, which I wanted to give up Calvin Ridley in a fourth, but he wanted a third rounder, so I talked him into next year third rounder, and I got my guy. I've been high on him pretty much all throughout the draft process. He's a big boy. He can be that alpha for the Carolina Panthers, and I'm really excited to see him this season.
Yep. And then going to the end of this round here. Yeah, good job on you trading up to get your guy. Props to that. So see how that turns out. But then at the end of the round, we got a little stretch of running backs. Not bad here. Lloyd, I know some people are really high on him. Vidal has a chance to carve out a big role, and then Jalen Wright is a kind of tailor made for that Dolphins offense. And the way they run the ball, he could have like a few big weeks for sure, just because they use everybody and everybody puts up points there. So then the third round was the crazy one that you had mentioned up top. Every 9 out of 12 picks were traded here, so just a ton of movement. Okay, so here I liked Corley, someone I thought about. I originally held the 304, but he went at the 303. Don't know if I would have taken him or what I would have done. Then here's where I tried to get too cute. I had the 304 in all my mock drafts. I just took Ray Davis. He was the guy I wanted. With me having James Cook, just wanted to have that combo and then him as the handcuff. But decided to trade back to the 30. What did I do? 308.
311.
And then Ray Davis went at the 307. So, yeah, like I said, try to get cute. I was so confident. I didn't know anyone else was eyeing Ray Davis, so that annoyed me. So I ended up trading back again and getting the 311. So did a little double trade back there. Ray Davis and Rattler, both guys I was eyeing at the end of the round here. Both of them went earlier than I was expecting. Yeah, I mean, Spencer Rattler, someone that I'm high on. I don't think he's a for sure shot or anything, but I mean, he's playing back behind a quarterback that has injury problems and hasn't played great, and definitely has a
Absolutely.
chance to become a starter. So that's how
Yep.
I feel about that. But at the end of the round here, I did end up getting Garendo, one of my sleepers from the draft, and the handcuff to my CMC, and then I got CMC's brother, Luke McCaffrey. So family affair up in here.
Yep.
Anybody in the
Couple big
third that
picks
you
there
wanted
by
to
you.
highlight?
So I did have the 305, and I
Oh
was
yeah, I just
eyeing
skipped over you.
Jermaine Burton. What?
I said, oh yeah, I just skipped over you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was eyeing Jermaine Burton. I like his talent. And Cincinnati, we don't know what's going to happen with T. Higgins. He could get traded. He could play out this year and then move on. So we'll see what happens with him. But I ended up trading out in order to get Sam Darnold to shore up that Vikings quarterback spot. I traded with Jeb. I traded Darnold in the 403, and I gave up the 305. So a prospect that I really liked there, but I needed to get my quarterback spot right. I have been kind of neglecting it for a couple years, so It's time I do that.
There you go. Yeah, so you'll definitely have the starter over there, regardless of how anything shakes out. Yeah, I kind of needed a tight end, so Theo Johnson was someone I was loosely looking over, but that was higher than I was going to take him, so nothing really came to fruition there. Yeah, and I was kind of in between at my pick. I know Brennan Rice was someone that you've talked about being high on, and then also is in the Chargers room with Ladd. So I thought maybe I can just make sure that I have the one of the best rookie, or make sure I have the best rookie receiver for the Chargers in a wide open room. I ended up going with Luke McCaffrey there just because of the draft capital. It was a third rounder compared to a sixth rounder, so I just felt like he was a little safer. And then I wanted the brothers together, so that's that. Bucky Irving, I think, was a great steal here. He should walk in as the RB2 in that room. So if then anything happens to White, he should be able to step up. And even with White, he might have some change of pace value just on his own. But then you went and got your guy, Brennan Rice, at the 403. How you feel about that?
Yep. I was happy to get him for sure. I got this pick in part of the Sam Darnold trade. So I just think it was like value on top, really. And the fact that I got my guy, Brennan Rice, if he can climb up that depth chart, I know they have a few mid wide receivers listed ahead of him right now, and as well as Ladd McConkey. So I think he's got a good shot to at least carve out a role and become more valuable than a fourth round pick.
Yeah, for sure. Always a chance for that. Braylon Allen, I wasn't too excited about him. A lot of people were. Estime, I don't hate. I think the thing with him is he has such a similar skill set to Javonte Williams. I don't think he'll have a lot of value on his own, but Javonte, a guy that's been hurt before, I think it's possible that if Javonte does go down, instead of pulling up one of the guys that would be above Estime, they put Estime kind of in his role just because they have such similar skill sets, and then have like McLaughlin or whoever, be the change of pace.
Yeah. I think you're pretty close with Esme and Javante, but Esme really hasn't shown that he can catch passes. Javante has, so he's really, maybe they use him as a goal line type of guy if Javante gets hurt, and then like you said, you got Jaleel McLaughlin taking over like passing game at that point. But I do think I wasn't that high on Estime, even though I'm a Broncos fan, just because he's pretty one dimensional. He's just a big guy that's going to power over you in the running game. So, yeah, not a fan for him.
And then I should explain here with this next pick that I think this is standard, but at least how our league is set up is we have to trim down before the draft our team to 18. And then all the waiver players are also in the rookie draft here, which is why you're seeing a non-rookie and Jalen Hyatt go here. Wait a second here. Yeah. Okay. And then later you'll see some more non-rookies taken here. So probably won't go over them too much, but yeah. So I didn't end up getting Frank Gore just because I couldn't get Ray Davis. So, I mean, it's possible that Frank Gore, as an unsigned guy, comes in and does end up with that RB2, and then I can have my handcuff. I don't think it's likely, but I think it's possible. So had to take a shot on him here with not too much exciting pieces left. Then I got Mike Gesicki. I don't know why he's being this slept on. I mean, I think he's the tight end one for the Bengals, which is a good passing offense. So, yeah, I mean, sleepers talking about him like he's going to be the worst tight end ever. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I believe they have another tight end on that roster.
They drafted Eric All. And then it's like Tanner Hudson, Drew Sample.
Raja.
Not worried about those guys.
Tanner Hudson, what did he do last year?
You said what?
What did Tanner Hudson do last year? Because I think he started to come on. I don't know.
I mean, he did have a couple low-end tight end one finishes.
Gotcha. Yeah, they do have Gesicki as the starter on ESPN. So.
Yeah, and on Sleepers he's the starter too, but he's only projected like 3 points a game. So, but I think he's shown the talent. People are down on him because his seasons with the Patriots, but I mean, you try catching passes from Mac Jones, you're not going to look great. That's just is what it is. So, but when he was on the Dolphins, he looked good. He had, I believe, a couple tight end one finishes, or at least tight end high and tight end two. So, getting him back to a good offense, I'm hoping to see that he takes off. And then Eric All went off 2 picks later, so if he does end up being the guy there, I could have got the rookie later. Tyron Tracy, I know, is someone that you wanted and then was still on the board, and you said, oh, shoot, I want Tyron Tracy for some reason. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I thought I was picking him, and
Oh, you mean earlier in the draft? Like you meant to
yes,
draft him and then you drafted someone else?
yes,
Because you're
yes.
like,
But
oh,
I
shoot,
mean,
I wanted him, but he's just like still
yeah,
on the board. So everyone's just like, what are you talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
But who'd you take
Um,
earlier? Did you even have a pick earlier?
so I thought I had the Devontae pick for some reason. Like on my sleeper app, it showed it was mine.
Oh, but it's JP's.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, I don't remember clicking Devontae Walker. But
Okay, that makes some more sense. But why were you so high on Tyron Tracy?
um,
Or
well,
high?
I just think
Not so high.
Saquon. Yeah, Saquon left, and he used to receive so many targets, so much workload. It's going to be tough to replace him with just Devin Singletary. And he's a beefy guy, he's a bigger guy. And I think if he can maybe get like some goal line work, maybe get a lot of the rushing, or at least split with Devin Singletary, he'll be worth more than a 4th round pick. And he has a shot to take over that room. I think they only gave Devin Singletary a 3-year deal for pretty cheap. So they're not going to be heartbroken if they move on from him to Tyron Tracy.
Yeah, yeah, and always down here just looking for someone that can increase their value. So,
Definitely.
and then in the 5th round, I was so convinced that I wanted Malik Washington. I was so convinced he was going to go earlier. So I tried to trade with every single person in the 5th. And I guess the 5th round was just the most valuable pick because no one would trade with me for it. But I did end up getting him all the way down here. I did trade up from the 512 to the 510 to get him. I just threw in a next year's 6th round. I don't think I had to, just the way it was shaking out. But I just got antsy and was trying so hard to trade with everyone that the time it ran around, I just did it. But Malik Washington, what I like is he's a fast guy in the Dolphins offense. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. And with that potential, something could happen. He's deep in the depth chart right now. They have their 2 top guys in Hill and Waddle obviously locked in. And then he's going to have to fight with Braxton or whatever.
Barrios.
Yeah. But I think if he can take the wide receiver 3 job in training camp, or at least be split for that wide receiver 3 job, and then something happens to one of the 2 starters, they have to miss any amount of time, or one of those 2 top guys, they have to miss any amount of time, then his value is going to skyrocket. That's what went in my head. Or he at least has the chance to do that. So that's why I was so excited about him.
Yep.
And a lot of
And I know you
vets.
tried to trade with me in the 5th round for my 5-7. And I was going to do it as long as Dylan Laub was not there. But he did fall to me, and he was there, so I had to get my guy. I had to get my running back. Zamir White ahead of him in Vegas. Just unproven guy. I like the talent of Dylan Laub. I think he was one of my sleepers, or a guy that I was looking at behind the scenes, and he ended up falling to me. He went to a good spot where he could possibly take over that running back room. We'll see what Zamir White does. But yeah, I'm happy I got that guy as well.
Yeah. And then we had a lot of non-rookies go. You got Joe Milton. It's not probably going to be a close quarterback battle, but there's always a chance. You never know how it's going to shake out. So not bad for a 6th round Hail Mary there, if you ask me. And then, unless there's anyone else you want to talk about, that's all I have to talk about.
No, not that I can think of.
Yeah, so good draft, fun. Been waiting forever to get to our rookie draft. We had to push it back a little bit, but we did do it. For me, I did so many mock drafts before, and none of them went like my real draft went. After the lad pick, everything kind of shook up. But I know we have a bunch of psychopaths in our league, so I don't know. Don't come in expecting. I got to stay on my toes. And I really wasn't planning on trading back, but I got caught up in the trade mania, so I just yeah, I had to. I felt
Yeah.
I got antsy too because everyone was taking all 5 minutes to do every pick because they were trying to trade. Obviously, we had 14 of them. You did a trade at like 4 minutes and 55 seconds once, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It was
But
pretty
yeah,
late.
fun draft. And I did get Johnny Wilson off of waivers. He went undrafted, and I was able to get him off waivers and stuck him right on my taxi squad. I'm pretty excited about that. I love a guy that on a discount, basically, because going into the NFL draft, people were looking at him way higher than he went, and he slid way, way down to the Eagles. But I mean, I think if there's a reason people were high on him in the first place. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully that works out. But what was your favorite pick of the draft? To me, yours or
My
anybody else's?
favorite pick of the draft, I would have to say Xavier Legette falling to me at the 2-7.
Okay, yeah,
Definitely my
I
guy. I
think
think he's going to be elite.
yeah, I know you're high on him, so getting your guy, like I said, is great. I think at the 202, getting Brian Thomas, that's I think that was
Yeah,
huge. And no, and then Drake May at the 111 too. So
yeah,
those early ones, those were
some great value.
high end talents, like great values. Yeah, so it was fun. I love doing drafts. Yeah, but it was a great draft. Had a great time. The trades kept it interesting, kept me engaged the whole time. Like I said, panics didn't go exactly how I wanted, but I think I still got a good group of guys that'll, kind of bolster my team up. I do need to. I got a lot of receivers. I need to flip some of those to running backs, but we are doing roster reviews starting next week. Nick and I will be reviewing each other's. Just an early heads up. If you want us to review yours, then throw it down in the comments, send it to us, and we will review your team for free. Look at where else do you find that? Nowhere. Just us.
Nowhere.
Just big time. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks for if you've tuned in and stayed this whole time. Thank you. We appreciate everything from you guys, and have a good one.
Yep. See you guys.